Hey team, welcome to another Building Better Baseball timeout. And in today's timeout, we're going to go over extra innings and all the rules and new rules that apply to extra innings in baseball. Remember, I'm Coach Hart, and in these timeouts, I teach you the rules of baseball and I teach you how to play the game. So let's get right into extra innings rules. So first we have to go over what are extra innings. Extra innings is basically baseball's version of overtime. So you know how a lot of sports have overtime and it's called overtime? Basically, after the game is over and there's a tie, there's extra time and that's usually called overtime. Well, in baseball, it's called extra innings. Extra innings are additional innings that are played when the game finishes the last inning in a tie. So exactly what we just said, when a game ends in a tie, there are extra innings to determine a winner. So extra innings are for determining a winner because games in baseball, they can't end in a tie. So we have extra innings to determine a winner for that game. The rules for extra innings. Until the last few years, baseball games high school level and up had no special rules for extra innings compared to the regular game. So for the longest time, the game would just continue into the 10th inning, the 11th inning, the 12th, the 14th, 15th. However long the game needs to happen in order for there to be a winner, the game just continued and every inning was basically the last inning. So there weren't any extra rules for the longest time in baseball. The game just kind of went on until there was a winner. So the game basically continued as is, and every inning was the last inning. So every single inning, if the away team scored, the home team only had one chance to score, and that would be it. Or every inning in extra innings, if the away team did not score, and then the home team scored, it would just be like a walk-off win. So every single inning in extra innings, the 10th, 11th, 12th, and so on, every single inning of those innings would be the last inning of play. The new extra innings rules. So there was a new rule implemented for MLB extra innings in 2020. This rule was also adopted by the NCAA in 2021. And NCAA, that means college baseball. So college baseball and MLB adopted this rule. This new rule states that every half inning in extra innings will start with a runner on second base. So that's the new rule that the MLB implemented, is that every half inning for the away team and for the home team, every half inning, there's going to be a runner at second base to start the inning. So really the only reason for this rule is to help speed the game up. The runner that starts on second base every inning must be the last batted out in the previous inning. So the teams can't choose who goes out there. They can't choose like their fastest runner and put him out on second base. It doesn't work like that. You refer back to the previous inning and the last batted out. They can't be running on the bases. It can't be a tag out on bases. It can only be the last batted out. So the last batter that got out, that is who starts on second base in the MLB and all this extra inning rules. The game will continue until there is a winner. So this is really the only new extra inning rule, is starting with a runner on second. The whole entire game still continues as is until there's a winner. But basically, when you start each inning with a runner on second, it just helps speed the game up because that gives each team a better chance to score. But as we said, the runner has to be the last batted out from the previous inning. The team can't just choose their fastest runner and put him out on second base. My opinion is I like it. The biggest stigma in baseball is that it's too slow, right? That is what we hear constantly every season as baseball fans and as people who play baseball. We always hear that this game is so slow. Oh, you play baseball? It's so boring. It's so slow, right? That is the biggest stigma of baseball, is it's too slow. And this will help speed up the game. This rule speeds up the game by giving a team a faster chance to score. That's what people like to see. People like to see scores. People like to see people rounding the bases. They like to see people hitting the ball. And when you put a runner out on second base to start the half inning, that allows for just one hit and that person to score. Like I said, that speeds up the game and it kind of is getting rid of the stigma that baseball is too slow. Because what happens when nobody gets on base and the game just continues into the 10th and the 11th and the 12th and the 13th and the 14th and it gets all way deep into the game where you're almost playing two baseball games? What happens? They start putting in pitchers who are not pitchers on the pitcher's mound. They start putting infielders or outfielders in who are throwing like 40 miles an hour. That's what people don't want to see. They don't want to see someone out there who's not supposed to be out there, and they're just out there just to save their pitcher's arms, and they're just trying to get somebody to have a win so they can get off the field. Why not make the game more interesting by putting the man on second, and every single inning, is a better chance to score, and you will actually see good pitching and good baseball in that extra innings rather than having the game carry on and then running out of pitching and then putting someone out there who's throwing 40 miles an hour just to try to get a winner of the game and just try to get off the field. That doesn't make sense, and that doesn't do good for baseball. That doesn't do good for baseball for somebody who's coming into the sport. They're watching it and they're like, oh, does this sport ever end? Now this guy's throwing 40 miles an hour. I thought pitchers threw 99. So in my personal opinion, I just think it doesn't really help that the game just keeps on going and going and going, and then you start getting those pitchers out there throwing lollipops. People want to see action. People want to see people scoring and pitchers throwing their full speed. And with this new rule, with the runner on second rule, this helps baseball speed up and see more action on the field. Also, it's an even bigger pressure situation. You're put right into the pressure. That's why we love the game, is the pressure situations. The pitchers are out there. They already start with a man on second. They have to get this guy out or they're scoring the run, right? It's a pressure situation right off of the bat. And it should be. It's extra innings. You've already gone through the entire 9 innings of the game to try and get the win. And you didn't get the win. Obviously, both teams played on par with each other to have a tie at the end of the game. Now it's time for pressure. Now it's extra innings. It's time for pressure. Put that person on second and let the game flow. Let the action flow. And let's get a winner. I just think that this new rule helps speed up the game a lot more. It puts everybody under pressure situations, which is what the fans want. The fans love pressure situations, especially new fans who think that baseball is kind of boring. Extra innings is where the action really happens. Now they're going to think, instead of extra innings being really boring and long and drawn out, they're going to think, oh, this is where the action really happens. This is where we're going to see people in pressure situations, and this is where we're going to see a lot of people coming around and scoring. So that's just my personal opinion of this new rule. I like it. I think it speeds up the game, and I think it creates a lot more action in the time that's usually long and drawn out in extra innings. So I like it, and I hope the MLB keeps this rule. Thanks for taking another time out with Building Better Baseball. Remember, I'm Coach Hart, and in these timeouts, I teach you the rules of baseball, and I teach you how to play the game. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Remember, Building Better Baseball is all about youth baseball improvement for players and coaches. So if you like what you saw, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you real soon for another timeout.